What do you think the Johnny Manziel era would be like if there was NIL deals back then and there was a transfer portal back then?
Yeah, I would have probably walked into the athletic building every day in a Rolls Royce Ghost with a fur coat and a mink hat on. I would have taken the Joe Namath route for sure.
So is it a good thing that you didn't have NIL back then? Or like, how do you feel about the NIL right now? Do you feel it's a bad thing or a good thing? Because you were kind of a person that wanted that to happen, right?
Yeah, no, I think for me, the way I think about it now, even though it is a little bit skewed and a little bit out of whack, it is in the players' favor right now. And schools are having to adjust and conferences and everything that's going on. It is a little wacky. But at the end of the day, to have kids that come through your school that move the needle, that bring in a ton of value and money and everything that comes along with it, they deserve to be compensated. So the thing that's kind of really tough is, like, for me during our time, we couldn't just hop in a transfer portal and end up somewhere in the spring. We couldn't just bounce and go somewhere else or get an offer for somebody. It was a full year you have to sit out. So the opportunity that these kids are getting is, amazing, but also something that it's doing is, if you're a high school recruit, a 2-star, a 3-star, there are so many people in the transfer portal that there's not a ton, there's not as many guys getting recruited out of high school because, why wouldn't you go get somebody from the transfer portal who's already been in the swing of things and knows how to handle themselves and go to class? Like, it's a lot more difficult teaching a high school kid that than somebody who's already been in another program.
Do you feel like the NFL or college can better prepare kids going into the NFL, or do you feel like it's better now than it was back in your day, or do you feel like there's still some steps that need to be taken to get a collegiate player ready for the NFL and what it brings?
I think it comes down to it's school dependent, right? Like, I think it comes down to the effort that the athletic departments are putting into making sure guys know about finances. Like, we would go into a rookie symposium and learn about, hey, you make $1 million, you're with your agent and your taxes and everything, you're really going to see X amount. Now, you can't have kids in college that are making $1 million a year and not pay their taxes and have the IRS coming after them and everything. So you would hope, an athletic department is sitting these kids down and really showing them that, if you make 100 grand, you don't get 100 grand. There's other things that come along with it. And, for them, just trying to teach them and educate them, it should be better, even though it is really hard to do that for 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids.
I mean, I don't know if the kids today are putting their 100 grand underneath their beds like you used to do when you would do autograph signings and stuff like that. Do you think that winning the Heisman as a freshman changed your life and changed your career? And if you didn't win the Heisman, like say Manti Te'o won, do you think that would have changed your career and your trajectory?
I think 100% it would have. I think that trophy and breaking down that barrier of being the first freshman to win the Heisman, changed my life forever. Something that throughout the history was really taboo at one point in time, that a freshman couldn't win it. And to finally, knock that barrier down and then see the next year Jameis come in and win it as a redshirt freshman as well, it really just changed the game for that fraternity and for that award. And it changed my life forever. I'm forever, able to go to autograph signings or go to the award show in December and, sign a Heisman helmet along with the rest of the legends there. And it's, it is the greatest thing that has ever happened to me in my life, and something for me that I always dreamt about and got a chance to actually live a dream.
Talk to me about the popularity of Johnny Manziel, Money Manziel, Johnny Football. I mean, at your pro day, like, you had a former president, like George Bush and Barbara Bush were at your pro day. I mean, what was that like? Well, I mean, you were hanging out with Drake, LeBron, like all these amazing people, and you're still in college and still going to school. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's It was unbelievable going through the pro day and being probably 10 minutes into the workout. And then you see the garage door kind of lift on the other end of the stadium. And you see President Bush on his golf cart just driving through, not a care in the world. I got to go sit down with him the night before and have a really cool dinner and talk and sit and just, being from Texas.
Wait, what did you talk about with George Bush?
I got to bring my mom and my dad and stuff. I think we just, we talked a lot about just Texas. We talked about what a great state it is, about Aggie football, about life. I think, it's a memory that me and my family, have framed in our house forever. I think it meant a lot to us at that time and was really, really surreal, when you're in college and they're like, hey, this is going to happen. And I was like, wow, I get to bring my mom, my dad, my sister and do this and have this whole experience. Like, come on, amazing.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.